Hello everyone, and today we're going to be talking about social media funnels. We're going to talk about sales funnels, essentially how to get more eyes on your book. Now, what I see a lot of people do is I see them just posting online. They post on X, they post on Facebook, they post in random Facebook groups and say, hey, buy my book. The number one key thing of marketing is you have to remember, nobody cares about you, nobody cares about your stuff, nobody cares about your book, your work, your story, nobody cares. It's like, you know when you're out on the high street and you get those people going over to you and they say, hi, I'm raising money for blind children, and you walk past them. If people don't care enough to put money in the pocket of people that are talking about blind children, why do you think they're going to spend 5, 6, maybe more pounds to buy your book? Like, buying a book is an investment for people. It takes a long time to read a book, certainly by me anyway, because I'm shit slow at reading. But what we're going to do is we're going to quickly talk about marketing funnels, and I've obviously got a paid, more in-depth course to do with this, but this will just cover the basics. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get our audience to know, like, and trust us. These are not pens, Dad. These are the fundamentals of any marketing, any business. Is we need to get people to know, like, and trust. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, firstly, we need to make people familiar with who we are. Familiar. That's not familiar. Familiar. There we go. That's how you spell it. I'm alright, I mean, honestly. So we need to get people familiar with us, people to see our face. It says on average it takes people 7 hours, or 5 or 7 hours, 6, 7, to engage with our content, to actually, do business with us. Now, of course, when you look at business content type, a podcast, you will accumulate that 5 to 7 hours a lot quicker. YouTube, you'll accumulate quicker. And social media, you'll accumulate that a lot slower because people have to watch a lot of your content first. But these operate differently. So with something like a book, it's a very small purchase. I mean, if you wanted to try and sell somebody a £10,000 program, yes, okay, people will need a lot of time. They'll need to know, like, and trust you. They'll have to watch a lot of your content, in particular things like YouTube, a lot of long form content. With something like a book or it's called a low ticket option. So basically anything under like £50 is considered a low ticket option. So this community, a book, a signed copy, something like that. People can operate differently on social media because it's more of like an impulse buy. that's why you get things like TikTok Shop. So TikTok Shop, somebody watches something, they see something and a product being advertised, they go, oh, it's only £4, £5, they'll click it, they'll get it. They don't need to invest a lot of time into the creator because they know the creator, they've seen their content before, they feel comfortable that it's a small purchase, it's not a huge financial investment. If they don't like it, it's a pain in the ass, they just won't go it again, but they don't need the 5 to 7 hours of content to get people to buy their stuff. If it's just that small purchase. If it's like a recurring purchase, if it's like a monthly subscription, then obviously we need more of that. In a nutshell, the bigger the investment you're asking the customer to make, the more time they will need to invest into getting to know you. Also, just with this, not everybody's going to buy from you. So you could get 10,000 followers, 10,000 likes on a reel or something like that. Not all of those 10,000 people are going to be customers. So a good percentage is maybe 1% conversion. So if we go 10,000, 1% of 10,000 is 100. So you can expect maybe 100 sales or maybe even 1% of that, depending on how good the sales funnel is, which we cover sales funnels obviously in this video, but first I'm doing this, which will then make one person. So 10,000 views, maybe you have a £50 offer or a £100 offer. A good metric of conversion is that. But we also want to warm people up too. We don't just want to keep trying to sell to people. And also, marketing is not a dirty word. You wrote a book, you created a product, you should want to sell that product. You should want people to buy it. It's dirty marketing, which is the problem. This is what we're going to talk about, is ethical marketing. It's a slow burner, but it builds up long-lasting customers and repeat customers. You don't just want to say to people, hi, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, because then people don't know you, they don't like you, they don't like what you're doing, they don't trust you. So Okay, so we do that and then we go like. Well, what does like mean? Essentially, you like the person, you like the content, you like the brand. So you are familiar with them, you like them, and also you trust them. This is a big one, is they trust you. They know that what you are offering is what they're going to get. And if you get all of these right, you'll not only make first-time customers, but quite possibly repeat customers and even super fans. Thus bringing the average cost of a customer from maybe, I don't know, maybe they download a 99p lead magnet or even a free lead magnet. That then moves to, they enjoy that, they know, like, and trust that. So then that then turns into a book, which they then turn into a series, which could then maybe turn into a signed copy or special edition, which could then turn into an event, and maybe even a course or a program or some kind of, like a Patreon or some kind of paid service on a monthly basis. So, okay, you may be able to spam people and you may get, you know, maybe a $2.99 sale of your ebook, or I don't know, a $9.99 sale of your physical book. But that's all you're going to get, and people just aren't going to go back to you. So by spamming people, you may get, I mean, the lower conversion would be much lower than this. You may get the odd sale, but by putting in the time to this, you may get 99p, then a $2.99 book, then you may get a £12 series, then you may get a £19.99 signed copy, and then an event, maybe 50 quid for a ticket to come and see you, and then of course maybe £30 a month recurring. Running out of space. Recurring. So by getting people to know, like, and trust you, we can see that the average cost buyer amount in a lifetime of a customer goes right up. So, okay, so we've got people to know, like, and trust us. Well, firstly, how do we do that? And we do that through making content. And this is exactly what I'm going to show you now. I'm going to show you the sales funnel, which I use, which has allowed me to generate tens of millions of views, has allowed me to generate tens of thousands of pounds, allowed me to create multiple streams of income, hit the bestseller list a few times on Amazon. Yeah, and you know, why you're here now. You've seen me, you've known, liked, and trust me, you've gone into my sales funnel, full disclosure. And the reason why you are here is because you know me, you like me, and you trust that I have the information to fulfill my promise, which is help you make a business out of your writing. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we do something called lead generation. So what is lead generation? Lead generation, in a nutshell, is free content. It's your free content. So, free. We do this through physical products. So if you're at a book event, you're giving out bookmarks or business cards. So physical items. Also, excuse my spelling. I'm left-handed, and I'm quite possibly dyslexic. But this is not a spelling and grammar thing, okay? This is what we have. This is what we're doing. All right. So lead generation. Cool. I hope you're writing this down, by the way. Lead generation. That is your free content. So that is your social media. That is your social media. That is your YouTube. That is your podcast. That is anything what you're doing which somebody can consume, and they don't have to put their hand in the pocket to consume that. So that's lead generation. This is where you're going to capture the most amount of people. So there are different kinds of lead generation, but we're just going to focus on this one first, okay? So your main thing, right? So your free shit, you know, your free stuff, which you show yourself, you show how you are. And in the paid course, there is how to structure social media posts, there's how to create hooks, there's how to create calls to action, etc. But like I said, we're just going through the sales funnel now. A sales funnel as well is basically how you get somebody from not knowing you and turn them into a buyer, and how you turn them into a repeat buyer. So this is what I'm going to show you here. So lead generation, free stuff, your big content, your free content, people like it, people watch it, they go, oh, I'll follow that person for more because I like that sort of stuff. Amazing. And we'll talk about, as well in the paid course, talk about avatars, and we'll talk about how to, you know, how to identify the needs of your customer. But I'll probably do a little bit on here as well. Probably not this video, because I don't want to have one video doing a million things. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. And it's 33 degrees in here. I have a fan on and the window open. But it's 33 degrees today. Man's warm. You know what I mean? So lead generation. Then we go to lead capture. Lead capture. And quite simply, just change the word lead to customer. Or interest. So, interest generation, customer generation, lead generation. A lead is somebody who is interested in what you're doing and you've given them your information. And there's two types of leads, okay? So then there's hots. Well, there's three. There's hots, there's warm, and there's cold. We'll get onto those in just a little second. But lead capture is basically you take them from social media or that free platform and you move them over to something you own. How do we do that? We do that through an email newsletter, an email list. So then we have an email list. And there's various platforms which you can do for an email list, plenty of free ones out there. Just give it a Google, you'll find some. How do we get somebody from social media to our email list? How do we convert them into that? How do we make them go, I want to do that? How do we make someone give us their information? Well, we do that through something called a lead magnet. So a lead magnet, I'll abbreviate for LM. How big is that? Bloody hell. A lead magnet. So you are giving somebody something for free in exchange for their data. So for example, if you're a writer and you're releasing a book, it could be if you want to see a character profile, if you want to see a behind the scenes, maybe you get a prequel or a deleted chapter. So for example, for me, to get people into my, where is it? Stand by. To get people into my Detective Laura Warburton series, this one, which is a 5-book series, I offer a lead magnet on my website, what people can download. As well as that, I also have for my police content, my police stuff, my bookshelf is all over the place right now. For my policing book and my non-fiction, I say to people, if you want to know more, you want to get more stuff, then join this, because then they get fed into an email list. And when they join the email list, they get served content. They get behind the scenes content, they get behind the scenes things. To be fair, I could probably do with a better lead magnet, something which relates to them. And that is something I'm thinking of doing. But it's obviously working right now. But you offer someone something for free. That's what I do, yeah. So somebody signs up, they then get taken to a web page, which then has an exclusive video made just for them, where I stand here and I talk to them about essentially what happens behind the scenes, what happens in my books, what happens in the Darkmoor world, and the different things people can get involved in, and my promise to them and their, you know, commitment to me as well. And people seem to quite like that, because they get something for free. It means that they know me a bit more because they've seen this dedicated video. They like me, hopefully, a bit more. And they trust me because I've offered them something, they've signed up for it, they've then gone to my website, they've signed up, they've given me their data, which has then allowed them to explore something a bit more bougie, a bit more behind the scenes. So people then get into an email list. This is great because it means that you then own that data. They have given you that data. People are obviously free to unsubscribe. Sometimes people sign up for something, they just want the free thing and then unsubscribe. Sometimes people sign up to something, maybe they are a cold audience. And cold basically means like they haven't really seen you before. They're still in that know, like and trust phase. They don't really know you. Maybe they've signed up and thought, oh, this sounds cool. Okay, this isn't what I want. This isn't what I thought it was. This isn't something I want to stick around for. Cool, and that's fine. People can then leave. Then you get warm audiences, which are kind of in the middle. A hot audience is like, with my wallet out, take my money now. Like you've released something, you've got something out. I'm a hot person. There's my money, and so on. Warm's a good place to be because you want to convert cold to warm and then warm to hot. And they're just a different type of leads. The more content you create, the more lead generations you create, the more you're going to convert people from cold to hot. So then people are on your email list. Now, we want to then nurture. All right, so this is then called a nurture sequence. And the nurture sequence is basically you keep providing value to your list. You keep providing value to the people on that list. Email them minimum, I would say once a week, maybe twice. Don't email them every day. Trust me, I've tried emailing every day. Not only do you get burnt out by thinking of new emails to create, but people also get sick of receiving loads of emails. In particular, if you also have an automation sequence set up too. People are getting like 4 or 5 emails a day for you. It's like, mate, calm the fuck down. Like, what are you doing? But nurturing is essentially, you're not just, someone isn't just signing up to your newsletter and going, hi, thanks for coming here, buy my shit, buy it, buy it, buy it. Because people are like, whoa, fuck off. I don't want to, you know, calm down, mate. Like, you've not even bought me dinner yet. You know, you don't even bought me dinner and you're asking to jump into the bedroom. You're like, come on, you gotta warm me up. You know? You gotta warm me up a little bit. Gotta make a guy feel good about himself. You've got to make a girl feel good about themselves. This is dating. That's what it is. Hi, how are you? I'm great, thanks. What's your phone number? Do you want to go out on a date? Yeah, cool. Some people are then happy to jump into bed, you know, stuff like that, and that's fine. That's fine. But some people like a bit more. I didn't think I would do this today. Some people need a bit more romancing. Yeah, you want to talk? Yeah, it's cool. You want to have a glass of wine and come back to my place? You know, no, I don't do that on first dates. All right, cool. Never mind then. But the second date, or maybe the third date, where hey, and then then of course they don't leave you alone and they start stalking you, and then you end up with a book idea, and a lot of trauma, and upgraded security. Anyway, so I might delete all this. So nurturing, that's what we're talking about. You've got the number, you've got the information, you're now nurturing them, you're sweet talking them, you're sweet talking people. You're going to send people an email every week or every other week and just maybe give an update on what's happening in your world, give a bit of context to something, what's going on. Maybe talk about one of the books which they've signed up for. Maybe talk about a piece of content which you have recently released and it's getting a lot of engagement. Maybe talk about that in a bit more detail. Because the chances are, if you've released a piece of content and that's got you a lot of newsletter sign-ups, then people probably want to hear about that a bit more. You know, the inspiration behind it, what went into filming it, you know, maybe a bit of a deeper take, and that's great. So we nurture them, and then we have the selling. Now you can do these in both. You can do these in one email. As long as somebody gets value from what you are doing, and then you can sell. Sometimes you can just sell to people. Sometimes you can just do a sales email or like a sales post or something. But you want the majority of what you're doing to be providing value with maybe a soft selling point rather than just always going for the hard sell. So you can do this for the 80-20. 80-20 rule. So 80% of your content is nurture, with either no call to action. Call to action is basically saying, I now want you to do something. So that could be, I want you to sign up for this, I want you to give me your data, I want you to buy something, I want you to follow this, or pre-order. You know, a call to action is, hi, now I want you to do this. And that's fine. But the 80-20 rule is 80% nurture and maybe soft CTA, call to action. And then you've got 20%, which is, you know, maybe a harder CTA. Hard CTA where it maybe is just a sales letter, just a sales email. And that, my friends, is essentially a sales funnel, a very basic sales funnel. And you'll see now, when you sign up to a website, maybe, so for example, I went on Adobe the other day, I needed a PDF converting into a document converting into PDF. So what did I do? They said, yeah, sure. Sign up, you know, upload your Adobe thing. That's fine. We'll transfer it for you. We'll transform it for you. Oh, great, okay. That's the lead generation. I needed something. They had the software to do it. Great. Lead capture. Oh, you want to download it, do you? Or you want to do more than one? Great. Just input your details. That's fine. So we can send it to you. Great. Lead capture. I've now given them my email address. I'm now going to start getting emails from Adobe advertising Adobe products to me. That is the nurture sequence and the selling sequence. Now, what do we say about audiences? I'm probably going to unsubscribe from Adobe because I was a cold audience. I got what I wanted, I joined, they promised me something, I used their service, and I'm leaving. And that's absolutely fine. And you will get drop-offs, you will get cold audience drop-off, but okay, why do we need to create an email list? Why is that important? Well, for a few reasons. Firstly, and I'll talk about the most important one in a second, but firstly is you will have to rely on the algorithm serving your content to people that follow you if it's purely on social media. For that to happen, the algorithm must recognize a piece of content that's good based off its engagement and then serve that to more people in order for it to hit your ideal customer. If you have an email list, you can just email that ideal customer with what it is you're trying to say or what you're trying to sell them. That's perfect, that's great. When it comes to your lead, what was I saying? Yes, but the biggest thing which is a problem is if you build your entire platform on social media and you keep it there, what happens if you get hacked? If Instagram or social media, Facebook of your choosing, changes the algorithm, so suddenly your content gets buried? What if you get shadow banned? What if you get blacklisted? What happens if something happens to that platform? You are planting seeds on someone else's land. And if they take away, they say, well, you can't use my land anymore. You've got no business, you've got no farm, you've got no leads, you've got nothing, you've got no audience. Whereas if you say, okay, great, I will rent their land and use that to then create my own ecosystem, my own platform, and my own amount of audience through my own emails, then you own that. So if your email list vanishes, or if your social media following vanishes overnight, then you still have your emails. You still have that audience data. So lead generation, make free content for people to enjoy. Lead capture through a lead magnet, offer those people something which they may find interesting, which relates to what you're selling. Create an email list for them to sign up to, so you get they get the lead magnet in exchange for their data, i.e. an email address. Nurture those with an 80-20 split. Give them something, some information, etc., relating to the reasons why they're there in the first place. If you write books and then start talking about hockey, people are probably going to go, I didn't really sign up for the insider of hockey, ice hockey, whatever. I signed up to learn about police and crime and thrillers, etc. Or maybe just a bit more about the author, maybe a bit more about what they're doing. So that's what I signed up for. So make sure the reason why people sign up is the information that they're getting. And then selling, 20% should be not hard sales, but more salesy and less nurture. And 80% should be that nurturing. And then of course you just repeat, and over time this will grow. This will grow, and then people will then turn into higher value customers because they will purchase more than one product. You will create, through the nurture sequence and the attending to those, tendering those relationships, nurturing those relationships with your clients and your customers, they will then buy more stuff. And over time, you'll have a base of people which, no matter what you release, you know they basically got guaranteed customers there. And that's really, really useful to know. So if you have, I don't know, if you spend a few years and you get 1,000 people who you know are going to buy anything that you release, and you release a book at £10, you know that you've got essentially a guaranteed 10 grand right there, which is great. And also the easiest people to sell to are people who have already bought from you, because they know the product, they like you and what you do, and they trust that they're going to get a good product as they've gotten good products in the past. So that's the best thing to do. That's the best way to do it. Sales funnel. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. If you want to know more, I'll be creating or by the time this video has been done, I will have created or will be creating a paid course which goes into each individual aspect of this in more detail. I advise, if you are serious about making money from your work, making money from your books, that you go and check that out. Pleasure. Love you. Happy writing. Let me know what you thought about this in the general discussion. Till next time. Mwah. See you later.